Tonight on the HPT, we're at the Daytona Beach Racing and Card Club, where a field of 282 players generated a prize pool of over $400,000. Going out in ninth place was recreational player and Alamonte Springs native Rob Manjura. On just the first hand of the night, Rob found himself heads up in a pot with former HPT champion Nick Schwarmann. The flop was 10, 9, 7, 2 diamonds. The good news, with Jack 10, Rob flopped 2 pair and a gutter ball straight draw. The bad news, Nick's 10-9 of hearts gave him 2 pair. Rob bets, Nick raises, and Rob makes the call. The turn card was the 7 of hearts, pairing the board, and both players check. The river card, another 10, giving Rob 10s full of 7s, but more importantly, giving Nick the buzzsaw. That's right, Nick has 10s full of 9s, giving Nick a bigger boat. Nick goes all in, and Rob makes the call, and his dreams of becoming an HPT champion were ended. But not for nothing, his 9th place finish earned him just over $10,000. Our 8th place finisher, playing in his first ever HPT event, was 30-year-old Orlando native Carlos Guerrero. Running low on chips and on the button, Carlos shoved all in with ace-9 of hearts and was quickly called by the pocket aces of John Pisano. The flop, 2 queens and an 8. The turn card, the jack of diamonds, giving Carlos a gutter ball straight draw, but it wasn't meant to be. The river card was the meaningless 5 of spades, and Carlos was eliminated. He went home with just under $12,000. And finally, our 7th place finisher was 50-year-old certified public accountant and Tampa, Florida native Tom Wynn. Holding ace-5 of diamonds, Tom was heads up against Nick Schwarmann. The flop was queen 4-4, 2 diamonds. Nick checks, Tom bets his flush draw, raise all in by Nick, and Tom makes the call. Holding 5-4 of spades, Nick flopped a set, and with no diamond on the Turner River, Tom was sent to the rail. He won just over $14,000. Well, folks, we've got 6 players remaining and over $250,000 to award, and it all starts right now.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson, joined by my good friend and co-host, Mr. Kenna James. And Kenna, this week, well, it's been perfect. Great weather here in Daytona Beach, Florida, at the Daytona Beach Racing and Card Club. 6 players remain, and one of the notables still in the hunt is a past HPT champion here in Florida, Nick Schwarmann.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this race plays out right here on the felt, James. How about Cord Garcia? He's 2-time HPT champion. He took down the Colossus, one of the largest events in poker history at the WSOP. And we have 4 other young contestants who are out there battling for their first championship tonight.
Cord Garcia, of course, his 2 titles were in the great state of Colorado. We'll see if he can win one out east here in Florida. So you talked about the other players. Let's meet them now. And most importantly, take a look at the prize pool.
Up top, first place, paying $94,515 tonight, on down to 6th place, $17,259.
Your chip leader is Nick, followed by Ben at the bottom of the heap here. You got the 2 Johns, John O'Neill and John Pisano. They got a little work ahead of them. And speaking of chip leaders, look at that beautiful chip stack and all those colors. Nick Schwarmann looks like he's the king of his own castle there.
It really is. He's got pocket 4s. The blinds are 15 and 30,000, ladies and gentlemen, with a 4,000 ante. Great to be back here with you, James.
Thank you.
Here in Daytona as we open up final table action.
All right, action now after the pocket 4s of Nick's were raised to 65. Goes out to the young gun here, Ben Scroggins.
21 years old. Barely old enough to enter this event.
I know. Get an ID check down there, and he's from Neptune Beach, Florida. Never heard of it. Neptune Beach? Sounds like a pretty cool place.
Neptune? I think, isn't that where Tiger Woods resides?
It may be. We'll find out, but Ben is going to re-raise here to $165,000.
It's another planet.
And now our short stack here, John Pisano. He's going to go ahead and raise all in here. Action back to Nick Schwarmann. We'll talk about the success he's had here on the HPT a little later in the program, but he's going to fold.
Gets jammed for $50K more.
It's not much more for Ben because he 3-bet here to call, so he's going to make the call. He's not going to like what he sees.
Just 54,000 chips for him to make the call, and we already see a pot of over 570,000. You see Ben there just kind of looks aside like, don't really want to be in this situation, but hey, it was only 54,000. The flop now, a couple of 7s and a deuce.
Yep. John Pisano.
With his ace 10. Let's see the turn card.
Okay, so now John is just going to have to dodge a 4 or an 8 or a deuce, and Ben would split this pot. The river we go.
And that river card is the 3 of spades. So John Pisano, 51-year-old from New York, is going to go ahead and double up and keep his tournament hopes alive here. For Mr. Pisano, just $70,000. I shouldn't say just $70,000 in total career earnings, but you know when you talk total career earnings, you got guys like Cord Garcia at this table with $2 million, and people like Nick Schwarmann that have won HPTs. So $70,000, not too bad, and he's going to try to improve on that. Obviously, this week here at the Daytona Beach Racing and Card Club. James Larson, my name, alongside Ken and James. And once again, we're back to the young gun here, Ben Scroggins.
Yep, and he's got guns for sure. Opening up with ace-6 of spades, raises it to $66,000.
Now it's time for the other John to get involved in a hand. This is John O'Neill, the 23-year-old from Jacksonville, Florida. He's going to go all in with his ace-queen. And now we move over to the 8th seat of Sam, and he's got pocket. Was that right? Did he fold
he
those?
fold the pocket tens. He's going to stay out of the fray, so to speak. Maybe trying to ladder up the pay ladder when a player is all in, right?
Yeah, those were tens. We saw them on our HPT cameras.
And look at Ben is going to call again. For the second time, he's going to find himself dominated going into the flop. This time, he may have had a decision here, a little bit decision to get away from this hand, but maybe the frustration of the first one pulled him in.
The flop, 7 and 2 deuces.
Right.
And now we go to the turn card. It's the 6 of hearts. So just like that. Ben, a little bit of a smile there. Kind of a big smile, actually.
Pull the cookie out of the cookie jar.
And now to the river we go. It's the 9 of clubs. So our first elimination will be John O'Neill. He'll be sent packing. He'll go out in 6th place with $17,259. And when we come back, this HPT final table will continue. Welcome back to the HPT. James Larson alongside Ken and James here at the Daytona Beach Racing and Card Club. Nick still your chip leader. And let's talk about these colorful chips we have down here. We got palm trees and beaches and colorful chips.
Yeah, they really go with the decor. Those green chips are worth $1K. The orange-ish colored chips are $5K. The blue, $25,000. And the red, $50K.
This is our 9th HPT event here at Daytona Beach. And, hey, I want to give props to Dom Nero, the poker room manager here. This is number 20, his 20th HPT event. We worked with him in East Chicago and, of course, here in Florida. So, Dom, we love you. Thanks for everything. Back to the action here. John Pisano wakes up with pocket tens. And after the raise from Ben, he just makes the call.
And just flatting with the tens there.
The other players get out of the way here, so it's heads up now to the flop. Pisano and Scroggins. A queen and a couple of deuces, so Ben gets the best of that flop, and he checks over to John as John bets 50,000 chips.
Yeah, I like Ben's check here. Playing possum. This is what happens when you don't 3-bet, though, and take the lead in the pot. You allow some hands in like this. And to outflop you, and which is what has happened here.
Turn card is the 5 of clubs. Once again, Ben first to act, and he's going to check. Both players check that 5 of clubs. So now we go to the river. It's no 10. It's the ace of spades.
Now, I think Ben should check again here just because of the way he's played this hand. But he elects to lead out. I'm not sure if this is a bluff or a thin value bet.
I played this so bad.
Trying to get called by a hand like John has.
And John knows it doesn't look good for him. The queen comes on the flop. The ace comes on the river. He's got pocket tens. We've all been there. We know the feeling. But odds are he'll probably pay this off. It's $105,000.
Really? I think he should be able to find the muck here with 2 overcards. But, no, he's going to make... You're right, James. He makes the call.
Yeah, he's going to pay it off, and he's going to see the bad news. Ben Scroggins, the 21-year-old, I just like saying it, from Neptune Beach, Florida, is going to drag that pot of just over 500,000 chips. Want to give a shout out to our final table bubble woman, Tony Fiorenza. She was the true final table bubble, and we've seen Tony at all of our events down here in Daytona Beach. She was on the cruise with us a couple years back. So, Tony, if you're watching, congratulations. A nice run for you, finishing in 10th place.
Back to the action. Ben has not missed a hand.
No, he really hasn't.
He is now raising up with Queen 3.
Now, is this something with the young kids these days? Is that how this works? As Pisano, you see, makes the call with a Queen Jack.
Wow. It's a style of crazy, aggro, loose, and fancy-free gambling poker.
Cord Garcia comes along for the ride with ace-9. He's first. He'll check that flop of 8-6 deuce. Ben checks right behind him. All three players checking that flop. Now we go to the turn. It's the 5 of hearts.
Interesting, because nobody really has anything here. So whoever takes the first stab at this pot will probably win it. And it looks like it's going to be John.
Cord Garcia, a 2-time HPT champion. Both of his championships came in the state of Colorado at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor.
Look at Ben. He's looking around to see how much is John playing.
Cracking his knuckles there before he makes a decision.
Well, I think he's sensing.
Wow, and he raised all in.
Look at this. Look, on a gut shot, straight draw, right? But he just sensed that his opponent didn't have that much, and he could leverage his chip stack against them to push him out of the pot. Well done.
Wow, the action continues. James Larson alongside Kenneth James inside the Daytona Beach Racing and Card Club. 282 entries. Now we are down to our final 5, and it's really been the Ben Scroggins show here.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's played every hand that we've had. I think he wants the TV time.
Well, he's already there.
Yeah.
Now he just limps in with 7-6. No, what I liked, what Ben did there is he used his chip stack. I mean, cards are important, but remember, folks, chips in tournament poker trump cards. And he leveraged his stack to his advantage and wrestled that pot away from John Pisano.
And now Cord is going to re-raise all in action over to Ben. Ben smiles a little bit with his 7-6, but now the real decision here is for Sam, who's got a hand. He's got pocket 10s.
Well, he folded 10s earlier, so now he's back in the same spot again, and it looks like this time he's going to make the call.
Okay, no matter what happens in this hand, I'm here to tell you right now, Sam is into this event for $100.
Really?
Yeah, this guy, he step-laddered the entire way up to the main event, and he's into this thing for $100. Back to the action here. The flop comes
Look at
up.
this.
10, 8, tray, a couple of spades. A beautiful flop there for Sam.
Always beautiful when you flop top set. Only runner will keep Cord Garcia in this tournament. Not to be.
That's not going to do it. 7 of spades on the turn, 9 on the river. And Cord Garcia, the 27-year-old with over $2 million in career earnings, not to mention a couple of HPT titles, is going to hit the rail in 5th place, but not before taking home $21,368. Welcome back to the HPT as we broadcast here in Daytona Beach, Florida at the Daytona Beach Racing and Card Club. 3 players remain. James Larson, my name. Kenneth James, his name. Technically, there's 5 people left. Those 3 and us 2, but we're up here. They're down there. There can only be one champion, and the action continues right now.
You can see at the HPT, we give deep chip stacks here.
Yeah.
You can see piles of chips, lots of play. Those red chips, just for those of you just joining us, $50K a piece. The blue, $25K. Orange are $5K.
To catch up the speed here, Nick raises to 90 with his pocket 8s, and Ben makes the call with ace-9 and outflops his opponent as Jack and a 9 and a 6 fall. And Ben's going to check. Both players check. We go to the turn card now, the tray of clubs.
Well, now I'd like a lead from Ben here on the turn, sensing his second pair is good here.
90,000 is the bet by
So 90,000 is the bet by Ben, and Nick makes the call.
People at home might be wondering, why is Nick calling with 8s here? Well, he still does beat a lot of hands like club draws, not anymore that the club comes on the river, and straight draws, like Queen 10. So he's looking his opponent up with 2 8s from his own mind and his own perspective. But I think now with so much gets there now on the river that it's going to be hard for him to call here, and he should rightly fold this hand.
180,000 is the bet, and let's be honest here. Ben,
Count anything?
what did he say there? Did he say raise?
What do you got?
No.
No, he calls.
He does make the call.
Let me see.
It calls, Ben
And what I
shows.
was about to say
Ace nine for two
before
berries.
I was trying to listen in there was Ben has really had the best of Nick really in every
Yeah.
situation that we've seen here on this televised final table. And speaking of the players at this final table, let's talk about the dynamics. You got the 2 young guns, and
Right.
then you've got Sam, who's just kind of like, well, this is fun and all, but yeah, this is all, it's moving very fast.
Yeah, he's over there by himself on the one end of the table. It's youth versus experience. And Scroggins now on the button. He's played almost every hand we've seen here on the final table. He raises 90,000 with King Queen. And these 2 young guns going after it.
And now Nick's going to go all in with his pocket 9s, and Ben makes the call quicker, I think, before Nick finished his words all in.
Really interesting. Quick call by Ben with just king high.
All
To
right.
flop we go.
The flop is 6, trey, deuce, couple of spades. So great flop there for Nick. No trouble so far. 2 streets to go. Let's go to the turn card. Turn card is another deuce, this time the deuce of spades. Nick, the only player holding a spade. All things looking good for him. He's all in. 1 more card to go. Let's go to the river, and it's the ace of spades. So Nick ends up making a flush out of the deal, and he's going to double up and keep his tournament hopes alive. I told you guys before, this is not his first final table. As a matter of fact, this is his 3rd final table, and he won this thing right here in Daytona Beach back in 2011.
This one for 94,000, the $3,600 championship.
All right, action continues here from Florida.
You know, with these 2 guys really trading blows, we can't forget that there's a $20,000 difference between 3rd and 2nd place.
Yeah, 3rd place money, $40,477. 2nd place, $60,408. And, of course, the big prize, 1st place, $94,515.
Sam might just be seeing these 2 young guns go at it and sitting back thinking, I'll just bide my time and owning my way into 2nd place.
Let's go to the flop here. 9, 7, Trey. Nick pairs his 9. We've seen this.
Yeah.
Nick and Ben just go into battle. And you're right. Sam's just kind of sitting in the back like we are, just kind of watching everything unfold.
Right, hoping he can jump up the pay ladder by 20,000.
All right, you see the bet was 125 by Nick. So action here on Ben.
Yeah, this is not going to get through because Ben's got 2 overs and a gut shot straight. Probably looking to raise here on a semi-bluff, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, he's going to go up to 275,000. Action back to Nick, and Nick's thinking, can I beat this guy this hand? Please? I got top pair. Please? Can I do it?
Yeah, the question in Nick's mind right now is, do I call or do I raise? Top pair is usually going to be good, especially in 3-handed poker, which we're playing right now, but he just elects to take the conservative approach and call.
Turn card is the jack of clubs, and just like that, Ben goes into the lead. Pot size, you see 815,000. Nick is going to check over to Ben.
Now, Ben sometimes checks in this spot because his hand's improved. It's really interesting. The weaker his hand is, the more he likes to bet and raise. The stronger it becomes, he takes a more conservative approach, but I like it now. Now he's switching it up, looking like he's getting out some value chips and is going to...
350,000 is the bet by Ben.
And the look on Nick's face is, it's happening again, Kenna.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
happening again. Meanwhile, Sam's over there probably just, enjoying the game that he's watching.
Yep. And it's really interesting to see these 2 go at it. It just seems like every card that comes off the deck is injuring Nick.
And Nick's going to make the call.
All right. Nick makes the call. 350,000. A pot swelling up here to about 1.5, a little over 1.5. And we go to the river card, and it's the Queen of Spades.
Well, this would be another thin value bet by Ben if he decided to bet here. but it looks a little uncomfortable. I expect him to check this back and just try to win at showdown. Just in case his opponent has a funky hand like Queen 7 or Queen 9.
But you never know with Ben Scroggins. But he is going to check this time. Nick's going to see the bad news.
Five of diamonds.
Look at Nick roll his eyes.
The old eye roll. Again, you sucked out on me.
You know what might help Nick here is we'll take a commercial break. We'll all stretch our legs, and when we come back, this HPT final table will continue. Welcome back to the HPT. I'm James Larson alongside Kenneth James. As you can see, Ben is leading the way right now as we're playing 25-50 with a 5K, and the action continues.
Yeah, and Sam is quietly snuck up into second place here with a $20,000 difference between third and second. That's quite significant.
And Nick now says, I'm all in. I'm the short stack. And who do you think's who's gonna look him up?
His old pal, Ben Scroggins, looking like Darth Vader there.
I know.
But Sam still got a hand. Now, he hasn't played a hand since Watergate. He's out.
You're right about that. He's going to let the two young guns continue their battle. And look at Nick. Nick's just like, really? King 8? Yeah, I know I'm ahead, but I'm going up against Benny Scroggins. So how do I win this? But, hey, we're seeing some sportsmanship here. Let's go to the flop. Can Nick survive? And look at that. The flop, Queen 8 deuce. All things pretty good for Nick, but two clubs come out as well.
Yeah, it looks like, Nick is expecting a club for sure.
Yeah, he sure is. Let's go to the turn card. It's the 4 of spades. So he dodges one bullet. He's got to dodge one more to keep his tournament hopes alive.
Can he do it and double up and stay in the tournament to the river?
The river card is the 5 of hearts. So Nick finally takes one from Ben Scroggins. He's going to win that pot. He's going to double up. Like I said before, Nick has been here before. He got a first place back in 2011, sixth place in 2012, and many, many moons ago, he finished fourth at our Majestic Star event in Gary, Indiana. Look at this, Sam. Are you going to play a hand? Come on, Sam. Well, he can't really play the Queen Trey. He's going to fold that. Now over to the recently doubled up Nick Schwarmann.
He's got a new sense of hope. As you can see, now he's going to try and take it right back at the kid, raising to $125,000 with a blind steal with just 10-3.
Do you think Nick was joking when he said his plans for the prize money? Roulette? I'm going to guess I hope that's a joke. Let's go to the flop. Comes out 6-5 deuce. They're all spades. Nick holding the lone spade out of the two of them.
Look at these two mitts. 10-3 versus 8-4.
Yeah,
blind versus blind.
The question is, will these two be Facebook friends after this tournament?
Well, now Nick has bet out here. Remember, he raised this pot coming in, so he has initiative. He's keeping initiative. Ben, with a double gutter, is not going anywhere. He makes the call.
Let's see the turn card.
All right, let's go to the turn card. It's the ace of clubs. Action on Nick.
Now, if Nick checks here and Ben fires, that makes Ben's flop call excellent. But just calling to hit a gut shot is a little bit too wide in my book. But Nick's not giving up. He's going to fire again as these two players trading blows. Will this get through?
The bet is $225,000.
Ben staring him down. Finally lets it go. Boy, I'll tell you, Nick really had to come out swinging on every street just to get that hand through.
Is that right? Is that two in a row there for Nick Schwarmann?
Yep.
I think it is.
Given a little stretch. He doesn't like to lose pots, but he plays a lot of them.
By the way, I want to let everybody know there are 3 players left. There's not 2 players left. I know you've seen a lot out of Nick and Ben, but Sam Korn is still in this thing. Let's
pan right there. Pan right.
Yeah,
let's take a look.
Our photographers, they're not even putting him on camera anymore. Action on Ben here.
There he
raises to 110. Yes, just wanted to make sure you're okay there.
We got to honor Sam. I mean, that's his style. His style is slow and steady, and it's got him here. It's what's worked. Good for him.
All right, let's go to the flop. King, 7, Trey, couple of clubs. And Nick is going to check over to Ben. Ben, you see, with the ace high, 73%. Going to go ahead and bet 110,000.
Actions back to Nick.
Wow, I can't see Nick floating out of position to try and steal this pot away. Maybe he's going to look for a check raise bluff
Yeah,
here.
that's the way it's looking.
Wow, I don't know. Against a sticky player like Ben, I'm not sure if I like this play. I do like it in general, but against certain type of players. Check raise bluffing against sticky players often doesn't work out well. Let's see how Ben responds here. You see, he just doesn't throw his cards in the muck.
No, we haven't seen it a lot tonight. You're on this HPT final table.
And he's grabbing for chips, James.
Of course he's grabbing for chips. That's what he does. That's what he does. He makes the call.
Let's see the turn card.
Let's go to that turn card. It's the ace of diamonds, and then he gets rewarded for it.
He does. This is amazing. Nick, just anything he tries just backfires, it seems, for the most part. Either his play doesn't work or the deck just stabs him in the heart. He's going to continue. This is not going to get through.
240. Go ahead and break that down real quick.
All right, Jeremy, our tournament director, says break that down, and it is indeed 240,000.
240.
Now, what do you want Ben to do here? Is this a case where
I want him to pull up his hood and cover his face.
cover his face? First things first. First things first. Make this look like a decision, like a real tough decision.
I like a call here by Ben because if your opponent's bluffing, I want him to continue bluffing. He may choose to raise to protect against a flush draw or realize value against the king. But I would prefer a call. Weighing his options.
Reaching for chips.
All in.
Oh,
And he's going to go all in. So that'll be a quick fold for Nick. Gets that hand over with real quick.
Wow, and another play doesn't get through for Nick as Ben takes home another pot. We'll be back with more HPT action right after this.
Welcome back to the HPT, Daytona Beach, Florida. That's where we're at. James Larson, my name, alongside Kenneth James. What do you think of this battle? This three-handed battle we've got in front of us.
It's been fierce. We're looking at 25 and 50K blinds with a 5K ante. Sam solidly in second place, and now Nick on a short stack with less than 10 big blinds.
Action over to Ben Scroggins, the 21-year-old, I'm going to say it one more time, from Neptune Beach, Florida. Love saying that. Raises to 110,000. Sam doesn't want to play.
Meanwhile, back on this planet, Ben is going to, Nick rather, is going to take a stand with his pocket eights. True to form, Ben is going to make the call.
Of course he is. We're going to flip over the cards.
Ben shows king of clubs.
Can Nick double up one more time to keep his tournament hopes alive?
Or will Ben suck out and send his opponent to the rail?
All right, the flop. So far, so good here for Nick. It's ace 10-5.
So far, so good for Nick. The turn we go.
And that turn card is the 4 of hearts. So now any king, any 3 for Ben. And he'll send Nick packing. Let's go to the river. And it's the 9 of hearts. So Nick is going to double up, win that pot, just shy of, close to 1 million chips there. So,
Yeah.
Hey, Nick's right back in this thing.
Yep.
Still has a lot of work to do, but I'm sure you tell your students all the time, you got the short stack, don't give up.
Never give up. Never give up. I love that phrase, along with Yoda's saying, do or do not. There is no try.
I like it. I like it. You're watching the HPT here from the Daytona Beach Racing and Card Club. I'm James Larson. He's Kenneth James. Let's get that part right. He's the one talking about Yoda. I'm the one talking about the action here at the table. Blinds 25 and 50 with a 5K. Nick Schwarmann going to raise to 110,000.
Yep.
And Ben now wakes up with an ace. 60,000 to make the call. I suspect he'll be raising. We'll see. No, he's just going to make the call.
Yeah, well, that's his pattern. Ben likes it when he has a reasonable hand to let his opponent go ahead and lead.
The flop is 2 10s and a 6.
I expect Ben to stick here and call. Stick and call. You know, in boxing, it's stick and move. In poker, it's stick and call.
Yeah, when I think of sticky, I think of Ben Scroggins. Let's go to that turn card. And it's the ace of hearts.
Well, yeah, now Ben pairs his ace, so he gets rewarded for his stickiness, even though he was already in front. But now this is going to give him more security. And look, he checks it back. His hand even improves. He's going to try and elicit a bluff from his opponent on the river.
And the river card is the king of clubs. Nick's going to check.
Yep. He didn't fall for it. So now Ben probably going to look to seek for value here. Make a small value bet, trying to get value from a king, perhaps a middle pair, like 7s or 8s, or maybe a 6.
The bet is $325,000.
And I'm not sure what Nick is thinking here. Is he really thinking about hero calling with queen high?
Might click hero on you here.
That's what he's saying, yeah.
You got anything?
So what's going through Nick's head now is, what hands do I beat? I beat hands like 4 5 of hearts, 8 7 of hearts, Jack 9 of hearts.
I'm super light. It'd be a super light call.
He's thinking of all the hands he beats.
The problem is, you keep making so many hands.
The reason he's leaning this way is because if he makes a hero call here and is right, he could turn this tournament on its end.
Will Nick make this call? As we can see, because of the hole cards, it wouldn't be the right call. He's really thinking about it here.
He really is. He's been battling Ben all day. Now he's battling his inner demons.
You know, like 9-7, dude.
See, 9-7. He's looking at all the hands that he can possibly beat to justify a call here. What's he going to do?
Well, it's $325,000. He's going to put it in the middle, and he's going to see the bad news.
Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, this one's not going to win it. It's so sick how you keep making these pairs and making these bet sizing.
325 was the bet, 325,000. That's going to take down the pot.
Your sizing makes no sense unless you have an ace. Nobody gets aces that many times.
Well, he got it again. He value bet perfect. How about Ben Scroggins taking it to Nick and winning that pot?
I like what Nick said, though. Nobody can get aces that many times,
Yeah.
except for Ben Scroggins here in Daytona Beach.
He not only gets them, he pairs them, and he gets paid off.
Right, yeah, exactly. All right, Nick's going to go all in with his king 8. Over to Ben now with queen 4. Well, hold on. Call the floor. Did he just put his cards in the middle?
He did. Now, we forgot about Sam.
We forgot about Sam. By the way,
Sam.
if you remember, Sam took out Cord Garcia.
Right.
So we'll see if he can take out yet another player at this final table. You know, he's silent, but he's deadly.
We might call him the Eliminator.
Yeah, we might have to. All right, ace-king going up against king 8. And the flop, ace, trade, deuce. Sam pairs his ace, but 3 clubs.
Yeah, Nick has the nut flush draw. We go to the turn. He's going to need a club.
No club there. That's the 10 of spades. So just one card to go here for Nick Schwarmann. And no club on the river. It's the 6 of hearts. That's going to do it for Nick. He's eliminated in third place. $40,477. A quick handshake from Ben and a quick handshake from Sam, the Eliminator. We'll be right back. Heads up poker. Ben with 7.3 million, Sam with 1.2. With no further ado, let's just get right to the action.
Well, the tale of the tape, youth versus experience, but it's really the monster stack versus the short stack. David versus Goliath.
Can the 21-year-old Ben Scroggins finish off Sam and win this HPT title?
Sam, the Eliminator.
I forgot. You're right about that.
You know, I've got to tell on Sam. He only plays the hands he wins.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's going to raise to $155,000 with a great hand heads up. King Jack suited in spades. However, his opponent has a better hand. He's got Ace Jack.
Yeah, now how is Ben going to play this? Is he going to play it fast? He is. He's going to raise, play it fast. and try and get it all in here. Sam's going to take a stand. He's not going to like it. He's going to be a significant underdog with the title on the line.
It all comes down to these next 5 cards. Ben Scroggins so close to his first HPT title. And Sam, all he can do now is look. The chips are in the middle. We go to the flop. It's king 6-5.
Wow.
Sam goes in the lead
Look
as he
at
pairs
this.
his king.
Look at this. From worst to first, to the turn we go.
And the turn card is the Queen of Hearts. Things looking great here for Sammy.
Yeah, only an ace or a 10 would give Ben this championship. Otherwise, Sam is going to double up and stay in the tournament.
Let's go to that river card. It all comes down to this. And it's the 10 of spades. Broadway.
Oh,
Broadway.
my.
Just like that, Ben Scroggins eliminates the eliminator. Sam Corrin's going to go home with $60,408, and your new HPT champion is Ben Scroggins. I'm going to head down to the final table for interviews. I'll leave things up here with you, Kenna.
You know, these two really had contrasting styles tonight. Ben with the loose, aggressive play, every hand style, gambled it up. And then Sam, how about Sam Corrin laying back in the woods, just laddering it up, and he still takes home over $60,000. Congratulations to both competitors. Right now, James is tableside for those interviews. Let's send it down to him.
All right, folks, I am joined now with Sam Corrin from Carlsbad, California. Somebody's got to finish second. It is you. A nice payday. But most importantly, you came to this final table, 9th in chips. How does it feel to crawl your way up to the top?
It's a lucky game. You're happy every segment that you go out.
Yeah. Were you surprised when the worm turned? We thought Nick was going to run away with this thing, but all of a sudden you were in front of him. How did that all happen?
I was hoping the 2 alpha kids would destroy themselves.
Before I let you go, why don't you look into the camera and say hi? I know you had a lot of people railing you online. Anybody you want to say hello to out there?
No, but HPT and Daytona put on a heck of a tournament here. It was fun. We'll be back.
You'll be back, and I hope to see you at another event soon. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. That is Sam Corrin from Carlsbad, California. And now I want to bring in our champion. He is here right now. And this guy, he did it. He's only 21 years old. Benny, real quick, what's going through your mind right now?
Absolutely nothing. Honestly, I've been emotionless for 3 days straight, just trying to play the cards and not show any feeling, and it's kind of hard for it all to come hit you at once. I was just talking to my mom about that, but I know when I'm driving home, it's going to hit me. I'm going to be like,
yeah. At what point did this turn for you? At what point did you say, wow, I'm all of a sudden the chip leader, and I can win this thing?
Well, starting 9-handed, I was playing pretty tight. That was kind of the game plan. And, I saw Nick kind of taking over, playing a little crazy, and that's my specialty. So I just out-crazied him when we got 3-4-handed. I made some loose calls where I got it in bad, and I busted 2 people. Glad that happened. And luck was on my side. You got to have luck. And a lot of my bluffs got through. I think I played as solid as I could, and I also had a really good run. Starting from day one, I had a great run.
Thanks, James. What a great interview with our young 21-year-old champion, Ben Scroggins. Well, he's got that balanced perspective. You got to play solid, but you got to need Lady Luck on your side and put those two together to take home the championship, and that's what he did tonight. Now, if you want to find out how you can come out and compete in one of our great events, just go to hbtpoker.com, and we'll be coming to a city near you. For James Larson, I'm Kenna James. We'll see you next time right here on HPT.